This is exactly the gear that you need if you want to go full-time on YouTube. If you're someone who's really not that techie, you don't care too much about specs, and you want the bare minimum to create really high-quality videos for both talking head videos and vlogs, then this is my minimal, no-fuss gear guide. By the way, if you're new here, hi, my name is Tika, and I used to work full-time in banking. Then 2 years later, I officially became a full-time content creator, nomading through Southeast Asia. Over the years, I seriously struggled to figure out what gear to buy, and I spent weeks just researching and watching every single review, comparing all the different models. And not only was it super overwhelming, it was also a giant waste of time. My goal today is to save you all that stress, so let's dive in. Good morning, guys. So we're having some breakfast right now. I ordered some Grab delivery. So if you guys are new here, I started my digital nomad journey last December, and so it's been a few months. But before that, I would be the kind of person who would cook like 90 to 95% of the time, and I would never or very rarely order Grab food. But since starting this whole nomading thing, I'm so embarrassed to admit how little I've cooked. So I moved to Chiang Mai in December and I stayed there for a couple months, and I was cooking maybe like 50% of the time and ordering 50% of the time. So that was okay, but still kind of bad for me as someone who has been used to cooking almost all of her meals and meal prepping for the last 6-7 years. But since moving to Da Nang in Vietnam just over a month ago, I kid you not, I have only cooked once this entire time, and the rest of the time I've just been going out to eat or ordering food delivery. Like, I feel so guilty about it because I feel like this isn't normal, but the thing is, it actually makes so much sense because food here and Grab delivery is so much cheaper than back home, and also compared to Thailand as well. And so it kind of like doesn't make sense from a time perspective and a money perspective too, to be buying groceries and cooking for yourself and then cleaning up, and it just takes so much time and energy, honestly. And so I'm really grateful to be able to do this, and it's helped so much for me to just like lock into my work and spend more time and energy on that. And I've already seen such a massive difference with my business and my content and just my ability to focus on other areas of my life. And the nice part about living in Da Nang is that there are so many nice, healthy options at a very affordable price. So I'll show you guys what I got today. So I got some toast with avocado and egg, and honestly, this is the kind of breakfast that I would normally make for myself. Got my tissue. Oh, and also got myself a little treat for today because it's filming day and I always do that. Salted coffee or salt coffee. This is a very, very big thing in Vietnam, and I think it originated from Hue, which is not too far from Da Nang. Basically, it's like Vietnamese coffee with a little bit of condensed milk, but then on top they have this like salted cream foam layer, and it's just the most divine thing ever. It's so good. And it's definitely like a treat yourself kind of thing. Not something that you should be having every day for sure. So yeah, always gotta treat myself on filming days. The issue is I've left it for way too long and the toast is kind of soggy, but anyways, let's start with the video. So before we get into the actual gear recommendations, I wanted to start off with just giving some general tips and advice when it comes to buying gear, because I think there's a lot of pitfalls that you can fall into, especially as someone who is a new YouTuber or you're kind of new to like upgrading your gear and things like that. So if you're starting out, I would say definitely just keep it simple. I don't think I chose the right breakfast to have whilst talking because this is incredibly messy. But anyways, if you're starting out, just keep things simple. So start with buying cheap gear. Like, let's say you're someone who literally started your YouTube channel last week and you're just learning the skill of how to make videos and just being consistent with it. I would say just start with what you have and then buy the bare essentials. So I started my channel with just my Google Pixel 6, which was the phone I had at the time, a clip-on mic that I got that was super cheap that I could plug into my phone, and then just this cheap tripod that I bought from Shopee, which is Southeast Asia's equivalent of Amazon. And to start off with, that's more than enough because you just need to learn how to make YouTube videos at that point. You shouldn't be worrying too much about gear. And as for lighting, I was pretty lucky because I lived in Malaysia and it's pretty much like summer all year round, tropical weather. It's super sunny all the time. And so I got a ton of natural light that was pretty consistent throughout the day. And so I never really had to worry about lighting or having any artificial lights. And that's exactly how I got to my my first 15,000 subscribers with just that basic gear. And I think for newer YouTubers, the biggest struggle really is just keeping up with the habit of making YouTube videos. I would say that's the biggest bottleneck for most people. It's never gear. It's always just consistency, because YouTube gets pretty hard pretty quickly as a newbie. And so it's very tempting to just fall off the path after making a few videos, because at the beginning you don't really have systems in place. You don't know how to do things efficiently. And you're also just like having to go on this really steep learning curve where you're learning a bunch of things at the same time. And so if you feel like you're procrastinating a lot on making videos because you feel like you don't have the right tech or the right gear, it really doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you continue making YouTube videos, and you can always just upgrade your tech down the line. And by the way, if you are a small YouTuber and you want to grow faster, attract the right audience, gain clarity around your content, and eventually turn YouTube into a sustainable income source, then my Creator Accelerator program was designed to help you do exactly that. If you wanted to find out more, you can check the link in the description and then apply if it feels right for you. And also, I recently launched a free school community. It's called YouTube Growth Lab. Every week I do live Q&As on Fridays. You can come with your content questions. I can help you out with those, or you can just drop by and hang out with other YouTubers at the same stage of the journey as you. I'm getting to the salt coffee, which I was so excited for. They give you a spoon as well, so you can just like eat the cream like a little dessert. I'm having a moment here. Just give me a sec. So with talking head videos, I'm gonna just say what I currently use right now and just give general recommendations and advice on talking head video gear. So the camera that I'm currently using, or not right now, but what I normally use for like my professional talking head videos is my Sony a7C Mark II. And this is a full frame camera. Now, this is something that I had to learn at the beginning, and I'm just gonna break it down very simply here. I completely forgot about all of these terms, to be very honest with you. And so when I was planning out this video, I had to research what they all mean again. So with cameras, basically you have full frame cameras or you have crop sensor cameras. So a full frame camera, also known as a full sensor camera, basically it just has a bigger sensor, and that gives you a better image quality, better low light quality, and also gives a bit more of that nice blurry background effect that a lot of YouTubers like to have. It's also called the bokeh effect. And when I was looking for cameras, that was one of the main things I wanted to prioritize, because it just looked really nice and professional, and it gives your videos a more polished look. And so the second type of camera is the crop sensor camera, also called APS-C, if that wasn't already confusing enough. But basically the difference is that it has a smaller sensor and your image is slightly more zoomed in or cropped, and you also get less of that blurry background effect. So that's really the main thing. And if you're a beginner, honestly, both are totally completely fine. I think I just get really wrapped up in making decisions and wanting like the best possible answer or best possible tech for my purpose. And so I splurged a lot on my camera. Guys, I did not need to spend that amount of money on gear at that stage of my journey, but you know, you just kind of learn things along the way. And yeah, it was a really big investment. I was not making a lot of money on YouTube at the time, certainly not enough to cover back the cost of the camera. So if you're someone who is a bit more budget conscious and you're more of a beginner to YouTube, I would say just go for a camera that is slightly more budget. And the most common camera models, ZV-E10, that is probably the most common camera that most YouTubers use and would recommend as well. Or the Sony a6400. So they're both crop sensor or APS-C cameras, and those tend to be a lot cheaper than the full frame. Another issue that I had with investing in such expensive gear early on is how intimidating it was to start using it. And so when I had my camera, no joke, it was collecting dust inside the box for the first 6 months of me having it, because I just procrastinated so much on learning how to actually use a proper camera. Because before that, I was using my phone, and also at the time I had bought my vlogging camera, which I'll get onto in the next chapter. But yeah, I was just relying on that, and I just didn't want to have to research how to do the settings and how to set everything up. Honestly, there's like a learning curve that you have to go through every time you buy new gear. And so just remember that you're gonna have an adjustment period at the beginning where you're gonna have to figure all these things out and get used to the gear. Yeah, that's why I say there's no rush really to upgrade, especially early on in the YouTube journey, because it's just gonna be like another hurdle for you. So with my lens, I am currently using a Sigma 24-70mm f2.8. I remember when I was researching for lenses, I would look at all of these different brands brands and names and models and think like, what are all these numbers and what is this code that I have to decipher? I really hated this part about the content creation journey, honestly. So what I wanted to do is just break this down very simply for you guys who aren't aware of this already. And if you guys were curious to know, I certainly wasn't curious to know about this at the beginning, but if you were, the F number basically controls how much light your lens lets in, and then that affects how blurry your background looks. So that's that. The lower the number, like if you've got f1.8 or f2.8, those are good numbers to have, then the blurrier your background is gonna be. Higher numbers like f4 or f5.6 just means that you're gonna get less of that bokeh effect. So the only other thing to consider with lenses other than that f number is whether it's a zoom lens or a prime lens. A zoom lens basically allows you to vary your focal length so you can change more smoothly from having a long shot to a close-up shot or vice versa. So with a prime lens, they're good because they're usually a lot sharper and can give you more of that blurry background effect. However, this is not something that I would recommend to beginner YouTubers because you don't have any flexibility when it comes to your like camera setup. You can't zoom at all. You're just stuck at that one focal length. And if your framing is off, you have to physically move your camera like closer to you or further away. And it's just kind of like annoying to do that. As a beginner, you're gonna be experimenting a lot with the background that you wanna have and which areas of the house you wanna film in. And so it really helps just to have that added flexibility so that you can play around with things and you can change up your background or change up your filming setup once in a while to find the optimal one. And so with a prime lens, you just can't do that, or you can, it's just more of a hassle. Like in my case specifically, I've been traveling around a lot and I've been staying at different Airbnbs, have like completely different filming setups. And so having a zoom lens has been really, really helpful because it gives me that flexibility. Whereas like with a prime lens, I think it'll be harder. Like, okay, what if I can't put my camera in that specific position, but that's like the optimal one for that lens? You know what I'm trying to say? So it's just like more of a hassle. All right, so with lighting, I think that if you're a new YouTuber, you don't need to worry about this too much, especially in the early days. You can just rely on natural sunlight. The only time where I would say it's a bit tricky to do so is if you live in a country where you don't get consistent sunlight and if it starts to get cloudy quite easily. So if you're in like Western Europe or something, then I would probably recommend to invest in some lighting. So with me, I've been really fortunate to live in Malaysia where, yeah, it's just summer all year round and consistent light throughout most of the day. And so I never had to invest in lighting. And the only reason why I did so was just to level up my gear. And I only got this like maybe 2 years into my YouTube journey. So the light that I use is the Godox SL62D, and I use a softbox and a honeycomb filter too. So a softbox basically helps to diffuse the light so that it's less harsh. It's more flattering for your face. And the honeycomb filter helps to focus the light so it doesn't like diffuse everywhere. And so yeah, basically just keeps the lighting focused and clean. Now, I'm not gonna go into the science of all that, but overall, all you need to know is that it makes you look really good and it looks really professional for YouTube. And just another note with the Godox light, that is one of the most common ones that YouTubers will use. And then this whole like softbox and honeycomb filter setup as well. It's very, very common amongst talking head YouTubers. And there are tons and tons and tons of video tutorials on YouTube teaching you how to set everything up and how to use it and like where to have it so that it gives the best effect. And in general, it should be like 45 degrees to your face. So that's that. And for my mic, this is for both my vlogging and also my talking head videos. I use the DJI Mic 2. I've experimented with a few mics over the years. I started out with the cheap clip-on mic that I told you guys about. I also bought that from Shopee. It was really very basic and the quality was nothing to write home about. But then after a while, I upgraded to this boom arm mic. I can't remember the model, but again, it was just some random brand that I found off of Shopee. And yeah, that was okay. Like the quality of the sound was much better, but it was such a hassle to set up, like having the boom arm in front of me. When I was filming, I remember I felt so constricted and just really kind of stuck in position because otherwise I would knock the mic. It was really quite a bulky setup too. And so if you're someone that doesn't really like to have a lot of stuff around you, and especially if you are going to be traveling a lot like me, then it absolutely does not make any sense to have bulky gear like that. And so for me, the best optimal setup right now, because I'm moving around a lot, is to have this right here. DJI Mic 2 is so good. The quality is amazing. It is cheaper than the Rode one. I think you guys have probably seen tons and tons of YouTubers have it. But yeah, very, very good quality. And it's just really small and compact. It's wireless too, so you don't have to worry about wires hanging off anywhere or having like a bulky setup. It's just so easy. And you also get like a magnet where you can clip it onto you. And finally, for my vlogging gear. So I've been vlogging way more recently because I'm experimenting more with this vlog type format and mixing that up with educational content. I use the Osmo Pocket 3. I got the creator combo. I'm actually using this camera right now to film because I just couldn't be bothered with like full Sony setup. You know, actually, if you are someone who is a beginner-ish to YouTube and you kind of want like a no fuss option for your camera gear, and especially if you're someone who might want to experiment with both talking head and vlog type videos, I would highly, highly, highly recommend the Osmo Pocket 3 because you can use it for both purposes. With the Osmo, like of course the video quality in certain situations or in not so optimal lighting, it's not really that great for like, especially if you're looking for that really crisp, you know, very professional, polished looking talking head aesthetic. But if you don't care too much about that, if you're still kind of like a beginner, I would say Osmo Pocket 3 is more than good enough for both purposes, vlogging and talking head. So I have that for the camera, and it comes with an inbuilt mic, or rather like an inbuilt receiver, and then like it comes with this mic too as part of the creator combo. And I just bought myself like a basic Osmo compatible tripod, again through Shopee, so you can get those from Amazon probably. And why I love this is because it is so minimal, it's so compact. The camera itself does not even really look like a camera, and so it's very inconspicuous when you're filming out in public. I feel a lot less self-conscious when I'm using my Osmo outside, especially when I'm trying to film B-roll at the gym. Because it's so small, I don't feel like I'm drawing too much attention to myself. And so psychologically as a creator, I think it really helps to have something as low-key as the Osmo Pocket 3. And then the other thing, of course, is the ease of carrying it around and having it with you. It fits in like this tiny, wait, let me actually get it for you guys so you can see the casing for it. So this is the casing for the Osmo Pocket 3, and it's like a tiny little pencil case, you know? It's very compact, and I can just bring it in my tote bag with me or carry it in my hand. It's so lightweight, and in my opinion, I think it's one of the best, if not the best vlogging camera out there. In fact, I see more and more creators purchasing these. It's so perfect, honestly, especially if you are someone who's going to be traveling around a lot or you are making travel content. It's just the optimal camera for it. The video quality is also incredible. I get tons and tons of questions from you guys in the comments, especially in my most recent videos, asking me what camera do I use because the quality is amazing. You know, I'm filming outside on the beach and you guys are wondering like, how are you bringing your big Sony outside? Like, what are you using to film? Because the quality is still really good. And the answer is I've been using my Osmo Pocket 3 the entire time, and yeah, it's just so great. So in the landscape setting, it is 4K resolution, and if you wanted to film TikToks or Reels in like the portrait orientation, then it's 3K resolution, which is more than good enough, honestly, for social media. Yeah, that's another thing. It's really good if you are planning on creating content for both long form and short form. So that's basically all of the gear that I use and all the advice and tips that I have when it comes to investing in gear, especially as someone who wants to go full-time on YouTube with both talking head formats and also vlogs. And on that note, if you are someone who is really serious about wanting to go full-time on YouTube, I did release a video recently about my entire journey and breaking down how I became a full-time YouTuber in 24 months. So if you wanted to check that out, you can check it out in the screen here. Okay guys, take care and see you in the next video.